Hi guys, welcome to another video on Excel formula and functions. In this very particular one, I will show you how to use Excel function in a very smart way. The data we'll be using is an extract from a company that rents cars. We have some detail about the rental cost, the days, insurance policy, and some loyalty program displayed in column by the side here. Then we have the condition we need to use so as to specify the rental cost. So what we'll be doing in this video is to calculate the rental cost based on this condition. So if you are super excited to use Excel function the smart way, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is to navigate to this cell and then look at this very particular condition. Then we can now specify the formula and satisfy the condition by the side here. Number one says you are to multiply the base price by the rental duration. So if you look at the columns we have here, this is for base price, this is for rental duration. So the first thing we need to do is to multiply this very particular cell with this one. Then we'll satisfy the first condition. That's it. Then when we move to the second condition, it says we are to add $20 per day if insurance policy is selected. Now, if you cross-check, you can see this is the column for insurance policy. So wherever we see yes, we are to add $20 per day. I hope you understand. So I'll just move to the formula bar here and then expand it up so I can see my formulas clearly. Now I will just hit Alt and then the Enter key so that I will move to the next line and then specify the next condition, and which says that I will add $20 per day if insurance is selected. So I will introduce the if function because this is a conditional statement. Now I will specify this very particular cell because this is the column for insurance, and then I will say if it is equal to yes, then what will happen? $20 per day should be added. So I will just introduce a comma here, then I will specify this cell and then multiply it by 20, meaning this very particular $20 is exactly what we have here. Then it should be multiplied by the number of days, that is the rental duration, which is exactly what the second condition specify. I hope you understand. Now, after this has been done, then I'll hit comma. Then if this condition is not met, then just return 0. I will close my parentheses and then I have closed the if function. So as you can see now, I'm done with the second condition. Then the next thing is to go to the third condition. But before I do that, I'll have to sum up this and this, because when you go through the conditions, you'll realize that the first and second is what made up the main direct rental cost. I hope you understand. So I will come to the top side here, then I will introduce the sum function. I will just hit tab on my keyboard, then I will introduce a comma here so as to specify this as my first number. Then I will now use this very particular condition as my second number. So I will just close my parentheses and the sum function has been specified. Now the next thing I will need to do now is to meet up this very particular condition that says if a customer is a loyal program member, then they get a 10% discount on total cost. This is the total cost, but if they are a loyalty program member, then they get a 10% discount. So first of all, what I will do is that I will introduce the asterisk in order to multiply what I have here by the condition I will specify. Then I will introduce the if function so that I can now test this condition. Now, this is the column that captures loyalty program. So I will specify that if what is inside this very particular cell is equal to yes, that's YES, what will happen? They should get a 10% discount, and 10% is equivalent to 0.1. Let me use a capital letter for letter Y here in this situation. And if the condition is not met, then introduce 0, which is value if false. I will close my quotation and I am done with the if function. Now, this is just a condition to validate the if function. So for me to apply the main discount, I will come back to the front here. Then I will just introduce 1 minus whatever it is that I will have in this situation. I hope you understand. So what I'm saying here is if I give you 10% discount on a product, it means I have removed 10% of the cost and you are paying 90%. I hope you understand. So that is why we said, okay, the total cost, which is 100% minus whatever it is we have here. The reason why this is not 100 is because we are dealing with fraction. That's why I specified 1 here. I hope you understand. So I will just come here, open parentheses, and then come to this side, close this parenthesis so that everything will then be captured together. I hope you understand. Then I will introduce asterisk again, and I will specify the next condition that says if the rental duration exceeds 7 days, then we should apply a 5% discount on the total cost. So I will introduce the if function for the second time, or let me say for the third time again. Then I will specify the column for rental duration, which is this. I'll click on this cell, then I'll say, okay, if this is greater than 7, what will happen? Specify 5%, which is the same as 0.05. And if the condition is not met, just include 0. I'll close my parentheses and the if function has been specified. I hope you get. Now, this very particular function is just to test if this condition holds. In order for me to apply the discount, I will come to the front side here, then I will introduce 1 minus. I will specify everything into a open and close parenthesis, and I have something that looks like this. So as you can see, I have specified the fourth condition. I hope you understand. Now I can choose to just break it down from here by saying Alt Enter, and then I'll come back to this place, Alt Enter again, and I have something that looks like this. Now the next thing I would like to do is to introduce the round function so that it will round everything up for me. I will come to the top side here, then I will introduce the round function, something like this. Then I will come back here, hit comma on my keyboard, then the number of digits I want is 0 because I don't want to round it up to any significant figure. I will close parentheses for the round function, and this is exactly what I have. The last condition says car availability, and it says ensure that a car is available for the desired rental period before calculating the cost. So what this means is simply the fact that before we even begin any calculation, or before we even give any car out for rent, the car must be available. So to test that, I will come to the beginning here, then I will introduce the if function, then I will come back to this column that captures car availability. I will say, okay, if what is inside the content of this cell is equal to, then I will specify available, something like this. If it is equal to available, then all these conditions that we have specified can now hold. I hope you understand. Otherwise, then it should just return not available. So I will just put it inside quote, not available, something like this. Close my quotation, then close parentheses for the if function, and that's it. I'm done. So the next thing I'll just do is to hit enter on my keyboard, and I have calculated this. So if I want to run everything all through, I will just double click, and that's it. I'm done. Now you've seen how we use different combination of Excel formula and function to smartly solve a particular problem. Now if you want to see something similar to this, click one of the video below, and I'll see you in another video.